It took us 7 hours to leave the Deer system. We left the Deer planet about an hour after the battle with the cruiser, the Knight Marshal having swapped it with a brand-new Keerah cruiser, modified to look the same, exactly like had been done for Black Sheep. 6 destroyers were left behind to protect the Deer planet. 1 15-year-old Keerah destroyer, and 5 more modern ones modified to carry fighters, which had replaced the 5 really old ones we'd captured. John Winchester's primary, Bill Paxton, had spawned off a new avatar to command that force using a tiger body, and since he was a fleet admiral, I figured the fleet was in safe hands, as was the planet. We left with 2 cruisers, 1 old destroyer, and 35 freighters, and took the longer arc around the sun, where there were no traders due to the extra time that arc took. When we were well out of range of anyone's sensors, the destroyer and the freighters were magically moved to the Thornsworld shipyard for sale. Almost the same number of freighters were now working for our mercenary company as traders, and were already on their way to spreading out around the cluster. We had 3 more old destroyers and another freighter doing a dead body run to the Fox homeworld, and they now had orders to follow us once they'd offloaded, instead of going back to the Porcupine world. On board each cruiser was 18 Tempests. We'd recovered 4 broken fighters from one of our battles, and found enough spare parts across all the destroyers we'd captured to, in theory, build 2 more. Those 6 had been swapped for Tempests. On the 3 destroyers we'd captured taking the Deer station, we'd found 18 fighters, and they'd been swapped for Tempests as well, and put on the second cruiser, which didn't have a name yet. What we also hadn't organized yet was pilots for the new birds, although technically we had them, and even though I was now a wing commander, I hadn't changed the Black Sheep Squadron into a wing yet. In truth, I was feeling very overwhelmed now. I'd been a squadron leader for effectively 3 days, and then suddenly I'm a commander, or wing commander, depending on where I was at any given time. I was having trouble coming to grips with that. No one else was, though. My promotion had been accepted by everyone I commanded, even Chancer. To make matters worse, dinner had been back on the Knight Marshal's station, and all the squadron leaders or higher ranks in the Imperium and League military had attended, as well as my squadron mates and their co-pilots, and my parents. That included the Knight Marshal, Marshal James, and the Imperator. Any hope I had of people not noticing my promotion was crushed as soon as I got the mandatory invite. The drinks session after the battle this afternoon had been bad enough, but an actual dinner? I was mortified. I think only my parents really understood how uncomfortable I was during the whole thing.